Hello everyone and welcome back to E2E. Today we are starting things off over here in the military base. As you can see, we've added some things into this room here. Now I did need to, figure out bullet production because the things were getting stuck inside of this machine. Things were overflowing and that's not good. It kind of looks like they are right now, but nothing to worry about because I had to go through basically every single mod's item cables, item filters, material gatherers. I tried everything, and the only thing that I could figure out to actually get this thing to work without overflowing was completely build a new applied logistics ME system. So that's what I did. Basically, all it does, it takes items from here. This is a storage bus. All of the required resources to make the bullets go into here. It puts it into here. This right here is an export bus set to export armor-piercing rounds. It has a crafting card and a acceleration card to speed it up a little bit. Basically, this thing requests bullets to go into here, which gets requested in the crafter, which then gets sent into this interface straight into this thing to make the bullets, which then get shoved into this hopper, straight back into the system, and out into the ender chest. Yep, that took me about 3 hours to figure out just because literally nothing worked except for applied logistics. Anyways, all of these should be getting ammo filled up. We are probably going to be AFKing over here for maybe a couple hours here and there, just so we have a nice backlog of bullets. But that's enough of the military base. We need to make some actual progress on things today, so let's go ahead and get started with environmental tech. Environmental tech. This mod features multi-block machines like the solar controller and the void ore miner. Now, unfortunately, can't really see what's going on in here because the text is dark, but I'll try my best. Multi-blocks can be automatically assembled if you right-click with the assembler on the controller block that you wish to build the structure for. It'll tell you the materials you need. Once the materials are gathered, you right-click and it places it. In order to progress through the mod, you'll need tons of litherite to start off with. Use this to build your first void miner, and then litherite you can go up the tiers all the way up to tier 6. All the crystals are used in late game recipes. Detect, submit, and claim 30 levels, just like that. Perfect. First thing we need to do is we actually need to, make these things. Let's do that. But we already have the assembler. I believe we got this from completing the quest thing, and we already have some litherite solar cells. We're going to go put those back because we don't really need those right now. So I think the first thing that we're going to do, digital guide. It looks like this is what we need. All right, so we need a book and a litherite crystal. Now, luckily for me, I knew we were going to need litherite crystals at some point. So in our industrial craft building, if you do remember from a long time ago, we got a whole bunch of litherite crystals we duplicated with UU matter. So I'm going to go grab a whole bunch of these and go put these into our ME system because we are going to be setting up auto crafting for basically everything here because we're going to need it. All right, anyways, we can go ahead and make a digital guide. This should hopefully give us all of the information about environmental tech. Perfect. All right, so let's see. What do we want to know about? Void ore miners. Mines ore from the void. Using a large amount of energy when modifiers are installed, so be sure to provide a decent amount of energy. No surprises here. Looks like we do have modifiers, luck, accuracy, speed, and null. Null does nothing, it's just a placeholder. And it looks like this is the recipes that we need for the tier 1. Now we are going to have to figure out what these modifiers do, but why don't we just go ahead and actually make the thing first, because that makes sense. 24 structure frame tier 1s. Okay, how do you make those? Yes, we are jumping straight into this and no point waiting around. Okay, we are going to just bite the bullet and skip ahead a whole bunch of steps here and just put auto crafting patterns for all of these, because I'm lazy. All right, so litherite, iron, lapis, we got that. An interconnect, we're going to need black concrete or a modifier component. We're definitely going to go with black concrete. That seems way easier. And we also need these connectors, which, oh, dear God, that is a lot of stuff. Ooh, signalum. We have tin block recipes, right? We do not. Okay. Now, I'm fairly certain I have a recipe to make signalum. I do. Perfect. So all we have to do is then just put this in. And since we are completing a new mod stuff, we are going to put that right here. All right, so hopefully we can just craft 24 of these. And we need aluminum brass. So we are going to have to make a pattern for aluminum brass. That will do just fine. We can put that in our induction smelter because I think our other alloy furnace is completely out of space to put, alloys. So, yep, we're going to have to go with that one. Okay, this shouldn't be too bad. 10, 24 structure frames. Now, looking at the material cost, it isn't too bad. 3,510, though. We'll get that back in no time. All right, so while that's crafting, I guess we can go ahead and look at the next thing that we need. So we need structure panels. Structure panel. Here we go, and that looks to be pretty easy as well. That is just more of the interconnects, gold nuggets, and iron bars, and we need 20 of those. So let's be sure to slot this pattern in there, and then 10, 20, and that we should be able to do that. We just need to make some iron bars. I don't have a recipe for iron bars, but we can just do like, yeah, that'll be fine. 10, 20, next, and craft, and another 710. Oh my God, okay. Sheesh. We need no modifiers. That's fine. We need 2 laser cores. 2 laser cores. That doesn't look too bad. It's just connectors, iron, and glass. No problems there. And then we also needed like one other thing, right? A laser lens. Now, I think the lens I'm just going to make myself because we can color them, right? And different colored lenses will give you different things. Now, if we go ahead and look at the void miner, actually, it says clear will give you everything, but if you use a green laser lens, it'll give you like preferred stuff. Obviously, we want Iridium first because this is the tier 2 crystal, and this will let us make the next tier controller. So why don't we go ahead and make a magenta laser lens? So we need to just make a normal laser lens first. I believe that's just glass. Yep. And then we dye it magenta. All right, looks like our structure frame tier 1s are completed. Our structure panels are almost done. Our laser cores are done. There we go. Got our laser lens now. It looks like all we need is the actual controller, so this is going to be a bit interesting. And we just got a quest reward for the structure frame tier 1. I guess we can go ahead and claim that. The next thing it wants us to do is make the void miner tier 1, and it looks like the modifiers actually are up here, so hopefully the book will explain what to do. But let's go ahead and make the controller. We need some litherite blocks, 2 interconnects, a block of diamond. We have the pattern for interconnects, so let's just go ahead and make 2 of those. Perfect. And then the last thing we're missing is this diode here. Oh, brother. Iridium reinforced plate and an empowered void crystal block. Let's make the reinforced iridium plate. Oh, God. Of course, we are going to need some iridium ingots here. So how do we actually get iridium ingots? I know we have some iridium shards, which we can definitely duplicate these with UU matter. I think we even have a pattern set up for that. Okay, we can't actually just use the normal iridium clumps. Okay, the real question is, do I actually have a pattern set up for that? I swear I did. I don't. Am I stupid? Wow, I actually don't have a pattern for that. Well, let's go make one. And there we go, 100 mil buckets for 1. So I'm going to put this on repeat run, and then we're just going to come back when we have a whole bunch of that. There is another thing that we need to make, which is why I am going to be coming back. Okay, now the other thing that we need to make, obviously, is going to be the empowered void crystal block. So we are going to need to use some good old-fashioned empowering on a void crystal block, which is just void crystals. Fairly certain you can also just shove a block of coal in front of the molecular discombobulator, inator, subjugator thing. Yep, that was pretty simple. We're going to need basalt, a block of black iron, a block of black quartz, and an ink sac. In you go, in you go, in you go, in you go, and in you go. I don't actually know how much power this takes, so hopefully it's not a lot. For 10 MRF? Oh my god. Ugh, we're going to be here a while. Okay, at least now we can go back to our industrial craft area, and we should have enough of the iridium. Looks good to me. We'll leave it on because we're probably going to need more. Let's see. And we needed to make a dense iridium plate. Bam. So we have everything we need to make this minus the empowered crystal, which we have to wait 30 years for the power to get in here. Issue is not that we're not making enough power. It's that we're not transporting it fast enough, because each one of these cables... I just took that off and canceled the entire thing. I'm stupid. Each one of these power cables can supply 125 KRF per tick. Our reactor down there can make 100 KRF per tick, which, you know, that's pretty good, but not good enough. So that's why we have this huge battery down here so we can hold 102 GRF. The issue with that is power transfer. Since we can't get things out of the battery fast enough, we can't like boost the speed of the stuff up there. So why don't we go ahead and look into how to make the better power cables from Ender IO. Now there should be 2 tiers higher than the Ender Energy. Melodic Energy Conduit for 750 KRF, and then we've got the Stellar Energy for 2 million. Now the Melodic Energy one is quite expensive. It uses 3 melodic alloy ingots, which comes from this crafting recipe right here. We need tiny piles of plutonium, empowered palace crystals, mana-infused metal blocks, cobalt, and depleted LU-235. That'll give us 24 cables. That's kind of a lot. And then again, if we look down here into the stellar energy conduit, we use a stellar alloy ingot, which you have to craft the block of this, which you have to make in this advanced carpenter, which is kind of annoying, or use a normal carpenter. But problem with this is it uses some more annoying stuff. Alumite, there's our melodic alloy block, a block of elementium, block of enderium, some of the ender amethyst, and blaze mesh, plus liquid DNA. Both of those are stupid annoying, but melodic alloy is within reach. Mana infused metal, that's pretty easy. You just run mana steel with diamond dust in our infuser. Cobalt we have plenty of already. Tiny pellet of plutonium can be duplicated with UU matter, so that's what we'll probably end up doing. Empowered Palace Crystal is going to be really annoying. Sapphire, so we're going to have to sieve some endstone. We need congealed blue slime specifically, so we're going to have to figure out a way to get that. Cobalt's easy, dense lapis plate's easy, and that's just a block of lapis in front of that power thingy. So that's going to be the most annoying part. Now, you'd think it'd be the LU-235 fuel, but the reactor chain to make the Californium-250 does in fact use LU-235, and I knew this day would come when I need these cables, so I went ahead and I just started outputting the fuels from this one into a nice little drawer here. As you can see, we have 439 stacks plus 32. I think we'll go get those power cables later because it looks like this is done. That is kind of what we're going to be working on in the meantime while we're waiting for our ore miner to actually mine some ores. Okay, but now that we have this, we should be able to make the diode that we needed. Bada bing, bada boom. In you go. And then we can make the void ore controller tier 1. Perfect. Now we should have everything we need, so why don't we go ahead and put this on the front lawn where it belongs. Actually, maybe we don't want to put it on the front lawn because we are going to have to power this somehow. I wonder how many RTGs this is going to run off of because I know the higher tiers are going to be a lot of power, so we're going to have to figure out a way to power this. The problem is you have to dig all the way down to bedrock, and I don't really want to dig down to bedrock in my base. Although I guess it wouldn't be the end of the world, right? I do believe we have a giant space over here, right next to some power cables. Let's do it here. Apparently, I just press on it with the assembler. Oh, you press and hold on it, and then it just makes? Oh, and there we go. Well, there's our void miner. Oops. Should we move it? Nah, we'll just stand in the laser beam. Okay, so the laser beam is right here, so we gotta break this. Let's just move this off to the side so I don't forget. Got the black concrete as well, so you can't see the ground. And then we dig to bedrock. And that looks like bedrock to me. Bam! Okay, now all we have to do is run power into this thing. And there we go. That should power this thing. Okay, so now let's see. The duration is 400. That's 400 ticks. 20 seconds per mine, which is not too good. There we go. Look at that. We already got a lithic crystal and an iron ore out of that. All right, well, that was easy. That's tier 1 complete. And now we have to wait for a whole bunch of Iridium to build up so we can actually make the tier 2. Is there anything else we can do in the meantime? Because there's going to be a lot of waiting this episode, and I'd like to not be waiting. I did see that we needed those upgrades, though, so why don't we go ahead and figure out what those actually do? I would assume that it's in this book here somewhere. Modifiers, yeah, here we go. Okay, so this is completely unhelpful. Can we just, like, look at the modifiers? Oh, maybe it'll be in our quest book here. I guess we can claim the tier 1. Okay, let's go ahead and see what this is. Speed modifier. Increases the speed, but gives you more power, and they do stack, and accuracy increases the accuracy of colored lenses, but also costs more power. Okay, so for building up, we'll probably want the accuracy modifiers, but for the last one that we build, we're going to want the speed modifiers, because then it's going to be really fast. Oh, and another thing, we are going to be stopping at tier 5. Tier 5 generates more types of resources than the tier 6, and the only thing that the tier 6 generates that the tier 5 doesn't is draconium, and as you can see, we're currently not in the need for draconium at all, as we have 94,000 draconium essence. Well, since we're waiting for Iridium crystals, why don't we go ahead and try to get some of that melodic alloy. Palace crystals go in there, cobalt, sapphires, blue slime, and dense lapis plates, and that's going to take 500,000 years, so we'll come back to that when we're done. And it looks like we're getting a whole bunch of other different ores. Now the problem is, we're going to be getting a bunch of different ores. Now I don't know exactly how many there are. I guess I could go count. 8 times 5 is 40. You want to know what you do when you have bulk storage problems? You make drawers. And that also means that I can AFK this if I need to, so I guess we can put it like over here, so... Now, I don't think anything's going to fill up, but if it does, we can always just lock all these. You know what? Let's be smart about this. See, item cables are slow, and they can only transfer one type of items at a time. So what if we just put this right on the drawer controller? Would that work? Is it going to put items straight in there? We did just pick up an Iridium. That's good. And it looks like this is not, in fact, doing what I want. Oh, wait. Yes, it is. Alright, so this does work out. Oh, but it looks like our empowered palace crystals are also done, so we can go ahead and make some melodic alloy now. Perfect. Except we don't have the tiny pile of plutonium, so we're going to have to grab our single piece that we have here, and we're going to have to go put that into our UU setup. There we go, tiny pile of plutonium. We're going to put this on repeated run. We're going to need 15 to start, but we can leave this on just so we can generate a whole bunch more. Now, of course, eventually I do want to change the power in here, because right now it's just 100,000 RTGs, and that needs to be fixed. But for now, that's fine. The reason I mention this now is because environmental tech does have the big solar panels, and apparently those things make a lot of power, so I might be using those to generate the majority of like big power setups like the UU matter and various other things that are going to need that. So hopefully we can get as far into that as we want. The goal, I think, for this episode is going to be get our tier 5 ore miner, maybe get a decent tier resource miner depending, and then get the tier 3 solar panel. If we take a look here, the array controller tier 1, that's not too bad. Litherite, lapis, and a solar cell. The tier 2, Iridium. For the tier 3, we just need the tier 2 and of course cryonite and cryonite solar cells. But tier 4 is where things get a bit interesting, which is why we're going to save this for later. So we're going to get up to tier 3 today. Maybe we'll get to tier 4 depending on how much time we have, but most likely we're going to stick with tier 3. The tier 4 here, as you can see, uses energy cell frames, reinforced cell frames, advanced solar generators for mechanism, some palladium solar cells, and palladium. We could do this one, but I think we're going to wait on that. The tier 5 now is going to get really tough. We're going to need elite plating, high voltage solar panels, hardened cell frames, advanced rocketry solar, and of course we're going to need ionite. The hardest part here is probably going to be the signalum cell frames again. We're going to have to make a bunch of high voltage stuff, which is a long crafting tree, and the elite plating, which of course takes calcium sulfate, so we'd have to go back to our drug lab. But anyways, let's go ahead and we can put that in there. Boom, 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 boom. We have 5 blocks of melodic alloy, which we can craft into 45 melodic alloy ingots, which we can take some good old conduit binder, which we need to craft some more. I should have a recipe for this. Let's make 1,000. And we can make some of these melodic energy conduits. Perfect. And that eventually will replace all of our ender energy ones once we have a nice stable way of getting melodic alloy. I guess while we are waiting, we could go ahead and make the solar array controller tier 1 and learn how to make a solar panel. Why don't we go ahead and do that? Because that only takes litherite. Let's go read up how to make solar panels here. Solar arrays allow you to harness the power of the sun. They are great in the sun, but do not generate well during weather and nighttime. We need the controller. There's obviously piezo modifier. What does that do? I guess the book will tell us. Okay, so now it looks like for the tier 1, we need 9 solar panels, 4 modifiers, and 16 structure frame tier 1s. That does make sense. Oh, wait a minute. Structure frames have tiers, and we need more iridium. Okay, so we're going to be waiting a little bit longer. So we probably need about 2 stacks for the next tier of miner, which is kind of annoying, but I mean, I kind of saw it coming. Let's be honest. We can have a recipe for that because I feel like we're going to be needing these litherite solar cells for crafting the next tiers. Yes, we are. We are going to want to be able to craft a bunch of like solar arrays in case we ever need them in the future, which we most likely will. Now I know I have 4 up there, so we only need to make 6, and we have everything we need. Alrighty, everything has been acquired for the solar panel. Let's go ahead and place this thing down. Now I don't know how big it's going to be, so we're going to build it 2 blocks up off the ground, get rid of this stuff, and then hold with our little auto assembler. Boop, boop, boop. Okie dokie, what happened there? The little wand doesn't want to work, then I'll do it myself. Oh, it's because I was clicking on the wrong thing. Okay, never mind, I'm just stupid. Okay, so now where's the actual power output from this thing? Probably right here. It doesn't give an FE per tick reading because it's not daytime, so let's go ahead and sleep and see what it's going for. Now we are going to have to accompany all of these solar panels with large batteries, but that's fine because we have induction matrices. So it looks like it is generating 972 RF/FE per tick, which for the tier 1 isn't actually that bad. Well, I mean, there's really only one other thing that we can do right now while we're waiting, and is to make the tier 1 resource miner, which isn't too bad. We just need another diode, so we're going to need another whole set of this garbage. So I'll get working on that, but this will generate a bunch of random blocks, and 9 times 5 is 45, so we're going to need 45 drawers for this. We can also spec this to what we want. Since we want mica, because that's the thing that we need to use the white laser lens. So that's what we're going to do. Mica is the thing that you use to make the different modifiers. You need them to make a whole bunch of other stuff. You're basically just going to need this for future use in this mod specifically. So that is what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and get the resource miner set up. Now, it probably isn't going to be too dissimilar from the void miner, like the ore miner. Let's see, does it take much more? It's basically the exact same recipe. Alrighty, we have acquired everything that we need. As you can see right here, we also got our white laser lens so we can optimize for mica. Now, as you can see, I also moved the power cable around. I replaced it with the melodic energy cables. I figured, hey, we just made them. We may as well use them. Also, a little progress update. We're up to 12 iridium crystals. Anyways, we can hold down on the assembler on this thing to go ahead and make the our resource miner, and it is in fact assembled. Perfect. So now all we have to do is we need to go get 45 drawers, and there we have our drawer controller down. The real question is it even going to reach all of these? I have no idea, but I'm sure it's fine. Let's go ahead and get all the upgrades in here. Assuming this thing would like to actually mine something and put it in there, that would be great. Oh, it's not powered. Oh, why is this not a multi-block anymore? Okay, that was weird. And it looks like it is in fact working, and we're mining some netherrack. Okay, good. So I guess with that being said, we have the tier 1 ore miner, the tier 1 resource miner, and the tier 1 solar panel. So the only thing left for us to do is wait around for Iridium so we can make the tier 2 stuff. I guess we'll just AFK.
1 day later.
Alrighty, here we are the next day. Yes, it has been an entire day because, oh boy, this tier 1 is very, very slow. The duration is 400, and that's 400 ticks. So that's 20 seconds to mine one thing. And the fact that I didn't have this chunk loaded also didn't help, which means it took even longer. I did go ahead and make a chunk loader from IC2. As you can see, I selected the 9 on the inside of my skyscraper, which basically encases the entire reactor and both the resource and the ore miners. But as you can see now, we have 2 stacks and 13. So we're going to take all but 1 out, just so we have a nice placeholder for it. So we got 2 stacks and 12. Now, hopefully that's going to be enough to actually make everything that we need. The tier 2, we need 32 tier 2 structure frames, so we may as well make the pattern for the tier 2 ones. Structure frame tier 2, as you can see, it takes a tier 1 and 2 Iridium crystals. Go ahead and make that pattern, and we also are going to need the structure panels, which is fine. We need 4 modifiers, so we are going to need to make... I think I'm just going to go straight for speed because I am sick and tired of sitting around waiting for this to do nothing. So let's go ahead and look at the speed modifier. It looks like all it takes is the null modifier, a iridium crystal, some redstone blocks, and mica. Now, mica is the thing that we get from the resource miner, which is also why I made that. But anyways, as you can see, we have exactly 1 stack. And then we can put this in here, and hopefully that will be enough to make what we need. Now, it's only 2 per, so I think we'll be fine. So nothing to worry about there. All right, so the speed modifier. Now, we also are going to need a Lonsdaleite crystal, which isn't too bad. It's just wither dust, black quartz, and a black iron ingot. There we go, Lonsdaleite. And another thing that we need for this speed modifier is the null modifier, which takes glass, iron, and an interconnect. There we go. Now, I know the speed modifiers are new, so we can go ahead and just queue up to craft 4 of those. Nothing to worry about there. The other things, though, the structure panels, we need less panels, as you can see. We're going to tear down the tier 1, by the way. This is why I'm saying all this. So we don't need any more panels. We're going to need 8 more of these, but since we already have 24 tier 1s, I'm just going to tear it down and then put it in the system so it can make the 32. That should be fine. Anyways, we also need 1 more laser core, and it looks like I think we're going to need another laser lens for the actual thing. We are going to, of course, have to make the controller tier 2, which means we need 6 blocks of iridium, which is why it took so long. There we go. Looks like we did, in fact, have enough. And then we're going to, of course, need a block of diamond, which is simple enough. All right, so all we have to do now is go tear down the old one and start crafting the new one. 32 of the tier 2 ones. Now, it looks like all we need is 16 more just to make the other ones, and plus we have 64 iridium crystals that we need. Boom. Get that started. Okay, now while that's happening, we can also go ahead and shift-click this straight in here to make the tier 2 controller. Perfect. So now all we have to do is wait for the tier 2 item thingies, whatever these are, structure frames. Yep, all we have to do is wait for those to craft, which is going to take a while because the signalum, I think this can only do like 1 per second or so it's going to take a little bit. Okay, now unfortunately the solar array tier 2 also requires more iridium, and so does the resource miner, and currently we don't have the resources for that, so we're not going to set those 2 up. We're going to have to wait on that. Anyways, it looks like we have our 32 structure frame tier 2s, and let me go just check in the book. 3 cores, 1 lens, 4 of the modifiers. Did we pick up those modifiers? We did not. And that should be everything that we need, and it looks like we did just get a couple more quests completed. Yep, structure frame tier 2, claim, and we've got the speed modifier. This increases the speed at the cost of additional power. Eventually we're going to have to find a better place to put that, but for now it's fine. All right, so there's the tier 2. Let's go ahead and use our assembler here to place this down. And it is true. And oh my god, okay, 4 speed modifiers, already up to 31,000 power. Okay, well, that's a lot, but that should be fine. So why don't we go ahead and look at the tier 2 void ore miner. As you can see here, all right, we need to make a purple lens, not a magenta one, because it is a different thing for each of these. Okay, so let's actually remove this lens and we go dye it purple, because now we need to start getting cryonite, because cryonite is used to make the tier 3. Lock that down. This should turn back on. 31,000 RF per tick, which is kind of crazy. 80 duration, so that's every 4 seconds it mines something. That's not too horrible. Now the real question is, does this make, how many more things does a tier 2 make? So one of 6 pages, and it's exactly 5 on each page, so that's 30. And it's one of 6 page, and there's 4. So the only thing that it makes extra is going to be the cryonite, so that's actually not too bad. All right, well, now that that's in place, I would assume we don't have enough iridium because we have 2 in there, and then I would assume we have like maybe 10. Yeah, we have 18 in here. Yeah, no, we're not gonna have enough. Okay, well, that was to be expected, but that's okay. So I guess now all we have to do is wait yet again. Oh, but there's our first cryonite. There we go. Cryonite completed. Alrighty, we are back from our AFK. It has been an entire day yet again. Yep, I got a little carried away playing Rust, and as you can see, we now have 24 stacks of cryonites, so yeah, I think we got plenty. So why don't we go ahead and actually check the recipes for this, make the actual blocks, and it looks like cryonite's witherproof, which is pretty cool. We can go ahead and make the pattern for the tier 3 structure frames. Here we go. Looks like it's just the tier 2, some quartz, some diamonds, and the 2 cryonite crystals. Easy peasy. All right, now we can go ahead and check what we actually need for this. We need 56 of them. Okay, it's getting quite a bit bigger. Yeah, now since I know that we have all the materials for this, I'm just going to go ahead and tear this one down already because no point waiting around, right? 56, and yeah, we need about 30 more Iridium. We should have enough considering it has been a literal day. Yeah. Okay, we're good. And also, it has been chunk loaded the whole time, so yeah, we have a lot of resources. 56 tier 3 structure frames start. All right, so there's those. We also need 52 panels. We also need more modifiers. Now, I'm pretty sure if I make any more modifiers that actually do something, the power draw is going to be too much for my little reactor to handle. So I think we're just going to make 4 more null modifiers. Now, the real question is, what color lens do we need for the next resource? The next resource looks to be palladium. So let's see here. We get this in a tier 3, and we need a blue laser lens. Anyways, now all we have to do is wait for everything to craft. And it looks like we did just get the quest completed for the tier 3. Now, I did see a comment a while ago saying that I should craft my loot boxes together. It doesn't look like I can, so I think I just have to open them. Now, another thing that we could do, since we have a lot of the cryonite, is we could try to make a tier 3 solar panel, which I kind of want to do because we might need to have a big solar panel to be able to run the next couple of tiers of this void miner. So why don't we go ahead and do that? Of course, to do that, we're going to have to make the tier 2. I could just make the patterns for it instead and then see if we can just make it straight up. All right, so it looks like we have the litherite solar cell. We can go ahead and put in the pattern for the Iridium one, and we can also put in the pattern for the cryonite one. You know what? While we're here, why don't we just get all of them? Stops me from having to make a new pattern every time. There we go. There's all the solar cells. And then we can line things up nicely in the crafting terminal. Yeah, you know what? That's a smart idea. Why don't we go ahead and do that? Okay. Nice. All right, so we may as well make the patterns for the tier 4, 5, and 6 structure frames as well. Ooh, the tier 5 needs a nether star? Wow. And tier 6 needs 2. Well, good thing we have a literal infinite amount of those. We need 49 solar cells. We have 8 null modifiers and 32 structure frames. Okay, so why don't we just go ahead and see if we have enough to make a tier 3. Now, another thing I could also do is I could upgrade the resource miner, but I don't think we really need to. We have plenty of mica right now, 3 stacks. That's more than enough for the stuff that we're going to need, at least for now. Eventually, we're going to have an upgraded one, but not yet. Here we go. We should be able to put our controller tier 3 down right here. And we should be able to hold on it with our assembler. Now, hopefully it will just take the speed and the normal modifiers and work. It looks like it is. This thing is getting huge. I may have to move it up at some point. And it looks like it is active. It takes 66,000 RF per tick, has a duration of 38, so one thing every 2 seconds. Well, hopefully palladium will show up in here. I also should check how much of the other stuff that I have here. I'm curious how much lead I have. 38 stacks. Yeah, that's going to be a lot. And we are going to eventually have to process all of this stuff. That's going to be for next episode. I think this episode is just going to be getting the actual machines built. Next episode is going to be getting a building and getting them all set up properly. That seems like a good plan to me, right? Oh, yep, there we go. It just worked. Awesome. Palladium crystal, we can go right there. Now, I don't need to wait an entire day, so hopefully I don't accidentally forget to log into the server, because this will probably fill up. So, alrighty, looks like we have everything we need. 49 solar cells, 32 structure frames, and we've got 4 null modifiers. Now, do we need any more modifiers? I think we only need the 4. Oh, no, we do need more. All right, so now here we go. Let's go ahead and get this placed down. I believe I can just place it one up off the ground, and it should be just fine. Oh boy, I'm excited to see how much power this is going to make, because I bet it's going to be a lot. Oh, yeah, I'm kind of stupid. That's still a tier 1 actual solar controller. We actually need to go get the tier 3 controller. So the tier 2 looks like we need some more Iridium blocks. We're missing 3. Are you kidding me? I mean, of course, we're going to need more for the tier 3, but yeah, because we're going to need cryonite, which takes an Iridium, so we're going to need about 14 more, which is so close. You know what I'm going to do? Magenta laser lens. We're just going to make another magenta one. All right, here we are a little while later, and as you can see, we have exactly enough that we need. Now, I'm also going to move this back down here, because I did just kind of let it build up over there. If we take a look in the guide here, oh, we just got the solar array controller tier 2 quest completed. If we take a look at the tier 3 solar array with litherite solar cells, because you have 48,000 RF per tick. We're using the tier 3 solar cells. I feel like we're going to get a lot more. Here we go. Oh, boy, it is huge. Oh my god. And it is currently making 64,000 RF per tick, which is nothing to laugh at. Wow, okay. Very nice. So there we go. Got the blue laser lens back on, and now all we have to do is wait for palladium again.
The next morning.
And we are back yet again. Now this time I did not AFK it for as long. I think it was about half the time, aka I went to bed. But we have 22 stacks of palladium. Now the reason this is faster is because the speed of this miner is like twice as fast, which, you know, that does make sense. So anyways, we can grab a whole bunch of palladium. We need to grab a little bit extra cryonite, some iridium, and some, I almost just said lithium. This is litherite. So now that we have all this, we can go ahead and make the tier 4 stuff. 56 of the structure frames, 56 structure panels now, 3 more modifiers, 1 more laser core, and we keep our laser. Alright, that's not too bad actually, so I guess we can just go ahead and pick this up again. And then shove it in the box and continue upgrading. Alright, so the tier 4, I believe we already made the pattern for it. Structure frame tier 4, yep, we need a 56. Yep, we just need some emerald, some quartz, and we already have the tier 3. So that should be a very quick recipe, very nice. We also need 4 more panels, because I believe we already have 52. Now we can just get those started, very nice. We need 4 more modifiers, but I'm actually going to go ahead and make 8, just because I think we're at the point where the speed modifiers are going to use more power than my reactor can produce. That's kind of a problem, right? So we're going to go ahead and make the null ones. Then again, we could also move this outside now because the solar panel's out there. Because if we upgrade our solar panel to tier 4 as well, then maybe we can run the entire thing off the solar panel. Okay, you know what? Maybe that's what we're going to be doing. Okay, we are going to have to figure out a way to move the items, which is going to be a bit weird because, yeah, the actual things down here. Either we move the ore miner or we move the solar panel or the entire drawer setup. Alright, so the solar panel's like right here, so if we put the actual void miner like over here, that'd probably be a good idea. I have no idea how tall this thing's gonna be, so we're just gonna place it like 7 tall. Alright, so let's go ahead and use the assembler here and make the tier for void miner. Now I'm hoping it doesn't use this. Okay, I was gonna say, I hope it doesn't use the speed modifiers, and it instantly used them. Okay. Why is this not working? What's going on here? Oh, is it because I just haven't dug down yet? Oh, I know it's not working because we don't have our extra laser lens. Oh, and there we go. It is set to true. Very good. Now it does look like it is in fact working. So let's see. Power requirements 12,500. Let's swap out one of these for a speed upgrade. 20,000. Let's do another one. 32. We might be able to get away with all 4 of these, you know. Okay, maybe not. 52. How much does this make? Then again, we also need to upgrade this. Okay, so that makes 64. Okay, so how much does it take if you have all 4? 82. Okay, you know what? Let's go upgrade our solar panel, and then we can see if this actually will make enough. I think it will. We need 40 tier 4 frames. We also need 81 solar cells, so we can dump all of the solar cells that we have already. 81. Do we have enough? We need to grab some more palladium, but other than that, yep, we should be fine. And there we go. That's probably going to take 500,000 years to craft, but that's fine. We also need our 8 upgrades that we already have. So now we actually need to upgrade the controller. So let's see. We need our advanced crafting table. We need all of this stuff. The advanced solar generators are going to be the hardest part, and by hardest, I mean just annoying because we actually have to craft those. Or we set up a big pattern for those, because I have a feeling I'm going to be using a lot of these solar arrays just to power buildings individually because they generate a lot and they don't take too much resources to make. So that's probably what we're going to end up doing. So why don't we go ahead and get a pattern for that? Oof. We're going to have to somehow automate large iron plates. I feel like I'm just going to go make a bunch. Is there a nice way to get these? There is. An iron block through this metal press. I have a feeling we're going to need to automate these metal presses because, like, yeah, or we just automate a small Tinker's Construct thing, but I just don't like having loose items on the ground because that's just not a good idea. Now we need a pattern for these solar generators, which we're going to need a pattern for these little solar panels. And all we need to do is make a pattern for this solar panel. All right, there is that solar panel. Now I think we already have the crafting recipe for generator. Oh, we don't. Oh dear. All right, let's do that. Now, do we have the pattern for RE battery? Oh, we do. Oh, perfect. Solar, we need 2, 3, 4 of those. Boom. Okay, so now what also we need to do is we need to take all of the other stuff that we need out of here so we can start crafting the other things. Okay, so let's see. We also need 4 palladium blocks, 12 palladium solar cells. Bam. Now what we need is the energy cell frames. Done. Nice. So we only need to keep the one of them, and we need to turn this now into the hardened cell frame. We now need to put all of this stuff into the empower over here, this is going to take a long time because of the power requirements. So we should just be able to, boop, there we go. And then we need to fill this with aluminum, and it's filling up with aluminum. And then we have got our our full reinforced cell frame. This one goes here, these three go there, and then we just got to grab the solar panels from our system here, the mechanism ones, I mean. Apparently something got stuck somewhere. Allow substitutions. Maybe we'll just turn that on. Maybe that'll actually work. All right, let's see what happens if we go to make another one of these. Okay, it says available, so that's all we had to do. Okay, so that's not too bad. So now we should be able to make all 4 of these. Shift-click those in to make the Tier 4 solar controller. Boom. Let's go. Now, obviously, we're not doing the next one because... And then we can start placing. Place. Oh my god, 363 KRF for a Tier 4. Whoa, okay. That's already making 3.5 times more than my reactor down there is. Whoa! Solar panels are the greatest. Alright, let's go ahead and get this drawer moved. This is going to be the fun part. You know what? Let me just fill in this hole real quick before I forget. Alright, very good. Now, this is the Tier 4, so this will be mining all the way up to Ionite. So we will put our Ionite right there when it shows up. I guess we can go ahead and get this plugged in now. Since this has a transfer rate of 300 KRF per tick, we need to use these solar panels. Or these wires here. Put our drawer controller right here, and then we can run the trims over. There we go. Okay, and then I'm just going to put these over here just to be there. All right, so now this should be working, hopefully. Already have an Ionite crystal, which we can claim right there. Perfect. All right, now another thing I can do with these solar panels. The Tier 4 doesn't have to use palladium. It could use the other tiers. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to just use the Atheum solar cells once we have those, and we put it in the Tier 4. All right, well, anyways, I guess now... we are back to the usual, wait for crystals.
Later that night.
Alrighty, here we are back a little while later, and as you can see, we got 8 stacks of the Ionite, so let's go ahead and grab most of those, a little bit more of these, those, and those. Unfortunately, it looks like I can't hold all of that, so we can go ahead and go back here, and we can make our Tier 5 Void Miner. Very nice. So let's see, take a look at the book here. It says that we need 72 Tier 5 frames, which is another 16 from this. We need a lot less structure panels. We get 4 more upgrades and another laser core. And it looks like we're missing prismarine shards. Oh dear. Okay, we have some prismarine. Please tell me that I can like grind this or something. Oh, thank goodness I can put another quartz in and get... okay, phew. I hope this doesn't like turn my grass into something because I'm fairly certain it turns sand into soul sand, so that could have been bad. Alright, there we go. We got all those back. I am going to go put this back and put that stupid redstone torch back on it so it doesn't keep making noise every 7 seconds. And now all I have to do is upgrade this to Tier 5. So, ooh, we need some Iridium neutron reflectors. I believe we actually have a pattern for those. Oh no, that's normal neutron reflectors. Do we have one for the Iridium ones? Oh, that requires thick neutron collectors? Ooh, we don't have a pattern for that. Do I really need to make a pattern, or do I just need to make them? I feel like I just need to make them. And there we have our thick Iridium neutron deflectors. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Just a little bit annoying. All right, we can also go ahead and grab the Ionite blocks. We need 6 of them. We drag our controller in to make the Tier 5 controller. Boom. 36 structure panels. Boom. We have all of the laser cores, I think. And we've got our lens. Now, Atheum. Let's check how we make this. Tier 5, we need a black laser lens. So let's go grab an ink sac here and dye the laser lens that I picked up. But for now, I just want to farm up a bunch of Atheum so we can make solar panels. And then eventually, I'll swap that back over. Probably in between episodes. I think we'll probably come back one more time after we have this Atheum here. We can upgrade the Tier 4 solar panel. And then we can upgrade our resource miner all the way up to Tier 5, maybe even Tier 6, depending on what it makes. And then we'll call it a day from there. Anyways, let's go ahead and get the Tier 5 Void Miner into place. And there it is active. Oh my god, that's a lot of power. 495 KRF with all these speed modifiers. We're gonna have to remove some of these because I don't think our little system can keep up. I mean, we could also upgrade the solar panel, but we may as well wait to upgrade it to Atheum. Then again, the Tier 5 panels do take the Tier 4 panels, so you know what, we may as well upgrade it. No point to not to, I guess. Never mind. All right, let's get this upgraded. Maybe we don't even need that. Boom, and boom. Now we can go ahead and put those back into the array over here, and that is back up and running. Now all we have to go do is go to bed. So it is daytime, and we can see how much power that makes. Here we go. Oh, 537. Okay, maybe we don't even need the mineral modifier. How much does this take? 495. And it's 4 ticks, so 5 per second. We already have some in here. Plus, we're going to start generating the new ores like prosperity and dimensional shards. And there's our Atheum. Awesome. I don't think we're going to have to be waiting for that long on this one. So, maybe we'll just come back in about an hour or so, and we'll probably have 55 stacks of Aethium crystals. Nice. And then we should be able to upgrade our resource miner all the way up to tier 6.
2 hours later.
Alrighty, we are back. I think it's been about an hour, so not too long, but we already have 17 stacks of the Aethium crystals. So let's grab a whole bunch of those, go ahead and dump that into our system like so. Alright, so I think the first thing we want to do is we want to upgrade the solar panel. We're going to upgrade all of these ionite cells to Aethium. Ta-da! Very good. Alright, so that'll upgrade our solar panel as well. Now, the next thing that we need to do, we need to upgrade our resource miner down here all the way up to tier 5, maybe even tier 6. Let's see here. If we go into the actual book, we can see how expensive that's going to be. 92 tier 6 structure frames, 56 panels, 20 modifiers, 6 laser cores, and the laser lens. The real question is, are we actually going to need that much rocks and dirt and stuff? I have no idea, but honestly, if we're automating this, we may as well do that, right? What is the worst that could happen? All right, let's go ahead and make that. Another thing I'm going to do, since we're not going to set up the tier 6 ore miner, we may as well just make it, just so we can have it checked off in the quest tree. So, I mean, we have all the stuff for it. It's just Aethium bricks, some more of these neutron reflectors, and then the pellets of RTG fuel, which we did set up duplication for way back when. May as well go ahead and make the controller again. We're just going to leave it in a chest somewhere. Okay, I'll get to working on that, but I think our solar cells should be done now, so let's go ahead and put those in place. Okay, so that's 1 million. So 1 MRF per tick with these solar cells. That is quite good, which means since this is less than 500. If we set up the tier 6 resource miner to take a little less than 500k, then it'll be perfect for day only, so this will be running at half the time. But then if we have a battery, then it would be better. Okay, so we want to optimize this to take like maybe 800, 900 KRF, because then the rest could be charging the battery in the day. I'll have to figure out the exact calculations for that, but we can do that later. Okay, let's go ahead and actually get everything upgraded first. So I doubt we're going to have everything we need. Yep, we're going to need more prismarine shards. We're only missing 10. We're also going to need more Iridium and Ionite. So I think we actually have all that. We just got to go get more prismarine, which is annoying. So we're going to have to go set up power to the stupid atomic deconstructor. I hate this thing, man. It's so annoying to deal with. Now we actually have to upgrade this to the tier 2 version. So we're going to need some Iridium blocks. Now this is where things are going to get interesting. I don't know if we're going to have enough of the blocks for this. We're also going to need to make a bunch of laser lenses. So we may as well make that. So we're at 2. So that'll be 3, 4, 5, 6. And we need 1. All right. Make cryonite blocks and level it up to level 3. Make palladium blocks and level it up to level 4. Make ionite blocks and level it up to level 5. And then we have to make Aethium blocks and level this up to level 6. Perfect. Now I am just going to stick with the clear lens for the resource miner because I don't think we're going to need anything more than that. 92 and we're good to go. We can start that. Now that's going to take forever because we're going to have to craft 500,000 signalum. Yeah, 1,000. We're going to be here a while. So I guess we'll have to come back to when that's done. But that should be everything else completed. That's fine. I guess in the meantime, I could move the drawers. And there's all those drawers down. I may have made a little bit of a miscalculation with the stuff that it actually creates, but that's fine. All right. Alrighty. Would you look at that? We have acquired all of the tier 6 structure frames, null modifiers, laser cores, and of course our controller right there. Now another issue that we ran into, I did not put the tier 2, 3, 4, or 5 in my inventory, which means we also can't unlock the tier 6 one. So I'm going to have to make a second one just to unlock the quest trees. I think I'll just do that later. That's not really a huge concern. But we also did get the quest completed for the tier 6 structure frame. All right, so why don't we go ahead and actually place this thing down. As you can see, got all of our drawers in place, and I think we're going to put it right over here. Now I need to figure out how big this is here, so just give me 1 second to look. All right, yep, that looks pretty good. What is the worst that could happen, right? So let's get this thing built, shall we? Okay, looks like it's built. Good news, it is extremely cheap to run these. Wow, I did not expect that. And also, we are right next to the solar panel. Wow, okay, maybe we should have moved it over a block. Why don't we actually just do that? All right, now the real question is how many speed modifiers can be put on here before it's at 1 tick? Because imagine we generate resources at 1 per tick. That would be insane. We may as well, right? I'm also pretty sure that there are luck modifiers that you can use. There are, and I'm pretty sure these do increase output, so I might want to put those more on the ore miner. But then again, we're generating it so fast anyway, I don't even know if it's going to be worth it, because we do have to process all these as well. So let's just make all of those into 8 speed upgrades. This shouldn't take too much. Yep, bada bing, bada boom, that's all made up. Let's go shove those in there. Hopefully this doesn't increase the power draw to like something stupid, but I guess we're about to find out, right? So let's see. Oh, okay, so 1 tick and 10 KRF. We could almost run this off of like 10 RTGs. That's actually crazy. And there we go. We are generating a whole bunch. After, of course, we dig another hole of bedrock. All right, so that is now mining resources extremely quickly, 1 per tick. All right, last thing we need to do this episode, I think I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to craft the tier 6 void ore miner. And since we already have to craft another entire tier 6, we may as well do the same thing for the resource miner to get those quest trees knocked out. So why don't I go ahead and grab a couple more stacks of all of the various materials here just in case we need them. And then we can go ahead and make that. So we're going to start off with the resource miner because it's probably going to be the easiest. Okay, we can go ahead and make a diode, a resource miner controller tier 1. We already got that one, so now we need to upgrade this to tier 2. Ta-da! And we upgrade to tier 3 with Corionite. Ta-da! And of course, a tier 4 with a Palladium. Ta-da! And of course, the last one that we're going to need to upgrade to, tier 5 with Ionite. Ta-da! And we should automatically, retrospectively, complete the tier 6 as well. That we did. Perfect. All right, so there is that. I am going to just chuck a chest down real quick. This will eventually go into the building for this mod. There we go. Okay, so now we need to do the tier 6 controller for the ores, which is basically the exact same thing, just again. Well, we may as well make all the other blocks here. We're going to need 6 Iridium, 6 Cryonite, 6 Palladium. I think only 4 Ionite, and then we'll just make Aethium when we get there. Okay, we can go ahead and make the tier 1 probably. There we go. Upgrade this to the tier 2. Upgrade that to the tier 3, upgrade that to the tier 4, upgrade that to the tier 5, except we do need more ionite blocks, so we can make 2 of those, and then we're also going to need those iridium neutron reflectors. All right, and there we have all 4 of our iridium neutron reflectors. I also went ahead and grabbed the pellets of RTG fuel, which we will be needing soon. All right, so we should be able to go ahead and make the tier 5, and the tier 6, you actually need the basic crafting table, with Aethium, those pellets, and some iridium neutron reflectors, which we should all have right here. So let's see. We can go ahead and press that and craft the tier 6. Ta-da! All right, we can go ahead and dump that in the chest because we probably won't be using it. Alrighty, there we go. That is it. So we have basically this entire quest tree completed. The only thing we're missing is the accuracy modifier, which I'm fairly certain are actually broken. I did look into it a little bit. And apparently you're supposed to use luck instead because the accuracy just don't work. We also have piezo modifiers, which means the solar panel will work better in the rain. We will be making that most likely next episode, though. And we also have the tier 5 and tier 6 solar panel. Tier 6 is not going to happen for a very long time, but tier 5 we're going to do for next episode. I think with that being said, that's going to be it for this episode. We got basically the entirety of environmental tech that I wanted to done, which is great. Oh, and we also got these little cables to transfer power better. All right, the goal for next episode is going to be we're going to build a building for these 2 plus the solar panel. We are going to set up a nice way to process all of the ores. Well, okay, I say all of them. Maybe we'll do most of them. Some of these we don't actually need, like aquamarine, maybe some cinnabar. I'm not really sure. Glowstone we can just put in. We're going to have to process basically everything in here and everything in here. Now, I am going to set things up in a very specific way. Most of these ores are going to run through a 3x processor. Some of them may run into a 2x. Some of them may be just 1x. I'm not really sure. We'll have to figure that all out. For the materials here, I'm probably going to set up a system where there's a storage bus on the drawer controller, and then the ME system will just detect this as storage, and then we can put void upgrades on all of these. That's probably what's going to end up happening, although I'm not really sure. That's going to be it for this episode. You guys can look forward to the environmental tech building and or processing in the next episode. Goodbye.